I'm Cayleigh Griffin, and today I'm joined by Liron Fanan, who is the Cavaliers Director of G League Player Development. Liron, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So, to start off, could you describe a little bit about your position here within the Cavaliers organization?
So I work with our G League team with the Canton charge. I do basically a lot of around the day-to-day operations with the players, do trades with Brandon Yu and our coaching staff, take care of everything the player needs off the court, make sure that our training programs and our games and everything is set up. Basically everything around the team day to day. It starts from the operational stuff and goes to their personal life and things they need. And again, I'm the only woman there, so it's kind of more than a job.
What attracted you to this position when it was offered?
So before this position, I was an agent for 10 years, and I wanted to make a change, and I really wanted to set foot in the NBA, which is obviously the highest level of basketball in the world. And I was talking to Kobe Altman, and he said he thinks this position will be good for me, and I agreed because of my relationships with players and the way I relate to coaches and to the understanding of how an organization needs to work and needs to make good communications between the players and the coaches. And I'm kind of in the middle of that, trying to make it work and trying to set everything for the players to be comfortable so they can actually concentrate on only playing the game and being the best they can and develop themselves, which is what G League is about, and not have to take care of everything else.
You mentioned that you're the only woman kind of around this right now. Do you feel like you have to play sort of like a motherly role because you're kind of balancing between actual work and making sure the guys are comfortable as well?
Yes, I mean in every place I go, if I was an agent or now, I feel it's the same because I'm a woman. So once they feel comfortable with you, so they feel they can really talk to you and really relate to you and ask you for things that other people might not be able to do for them.
Right.
And it's, we have a very family-oriented organization. So it's easy for me to help them out in other things.
You have a really interesting backstory. You grew up in Israel. What was it like for you being a young female, growing up in Israel, but also wanting to break into the sports world?
So Israel is we live in a very interesting reality. It's, with all the wars we had and everything around it, all the politics around it. And then you have sports, which gives people a little bit of a way to break from everything else. So soccer is obviously our biggest one, and then you have basketball. And people are very passionate about their basketball teams. So growing up, and I grew up, my father was a GM and my brother played, so I grew up around basketball. So when I wanted to come in, it was weird for a lot of people, but yet since I came from a basketball family, it was kind of natural to me. So I just started working really young at 16 for a basketball team and started learning everything and growing from there. And obviously I was always the only female, always. And I just had to work harder and just try to, put myself in certain situations and fit myself.
Can you take us through your backstory a little bit more of the positions you've been in? You mentioned you were an agent, but what other positions have you held?
So I started working for Maccabi Tel Aviv, which is a huge EuroLeague team with a lot of history, when I was 16. And I started as, ticket sales and marketing and doing everything in the office and everything I could. So I would go after school or in the summers and do whatever they needed me to do. And that way I was always around the team, so I used to go to practices and learn the game itself, watch the coaches, and then just, went up from there, like with the positions. My last position with them was assistant GM. You don't see a lot of women in European basketball.
Yeah.
I see more women here than I do there. But for me, it was just natural.
You've also held different positions working with different global games with the NBA, Basketball Without Borders. How important do you think it is to continue to spread the game of basketball, specifically the NBA?
So I've been around basketball many years, and what NBA done the 10 years globally is, I think, amazing, because I see them just growing so fast and bringing the game to so many places, like India right now, where they have not only academy, they have a huge NBA junior program, which I just heard, and I'm not sure about the numbers, but I heard they have 6 million kids in it.
Wow.
It's huge.
Wow.
So having the ability to spread the game of basketball and spread the NBA all over the world, I think it brings everyone together. And then you see it in the NBA. You see so many international players having impact right now.
You mentioned that the NBA, you've noticed the surge of women that you see more here than you've seen in international basketball. What does it mean to you to be a part of that group of women who are in the front office, in development, in coaching? What does it mean to you to be a part of that?
One of the reasons I decided to make this move this year is because I've seen that this is a great time to step in, because certain organizations do give women the option to grow. And this is what I felt the Cavs do as well, and this is why I chose the Cavs. And I think it's great. We have a voice now. We do things that are helpful to organizations and make an impact, and I just want to keep doing more and seeing more women.
What advice would you give young people, particularly young girls who are looking to break into the sports industry?
Well, a lot of girls contact me on social media and ask me the same question. And I say, first of all, it's very, very important, since we are still in the world of men. It's very, very important to be very professional. Also, I worked so hard. I entered my life away. I did everything I needed to do. I went and worked in every summer league I could, and every camp I could, and just networked and met people and spoke a lot about the game of basketball and made people understand that I know my job. And that's all you can do. All you can do is work hard and know what you're doing.
Well, Liron, thank you so much for joining us. Your story is inspirational. We are very lucky to have you as part of the Cavaliers organization.